Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today, the trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday, previewing and reviewing the latest shows on WWE, AEW, New Japan, and everything in between every Saturday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I'm, of course, your host, James J., alongside Kaliko Yachts.
I mean, we know why we're here. Let's just get to it because there's been a lot. There's a lot going down, son.
Well, let's talk about us before we get to what everybody wants to know about. Obviously, last Tuesday and Wednesday, we interviewed with Gab, one of only three Egyptian wrestlers active in pro wrestling today, currently wrestling in Dubai. Um, Last Tuesday and Piper Sweet on Wednesday. Two incredible interviews, unique interviews, different parts of the world to say the least. But I can definitely not recommend them enough. If you haven't already seen them, go into the archives and check them out. That brings us up to this upcoming Tuesday and Wednesday. This Tuesday, we have Patricia Lagaya, one of the trainees under Fabio Makisig of Puso Pro Wrestling in the Philippines. She's known as the Pinoy Sweetheart, and we talk all about that. We talk about her first match being basically a viral moment in the Philippines. Talked about all over the news. We talk about her time as a backstage announcer. We talk about her love of The Sims. We talk about just about everything we could possibly talk about. Patricia was no short when it came to sharing about her experiences in pro wrestling, which we always love in on Wrestling With. So you definitely get a first-hand perspective of what's going on, how it went down, and her feelings about it. So you can't necessarily ask more for an interview from us, for sure. And this upcoming Wednesday, we have the Super Beast working out of Mexico right now. The dude wrestled Anita in a exploding barbed wire landmine match. So, I mean, that's all you really need to know about the guy. He's wrestled Japan, Mexico. We talk all about that, working under a mask. He's known as the real life Bane, acknowledged by DC Comics. We talk about his love of comics. There is so much to talk about in that interview as well. We talk about his promotion as well. But don't take my word for it. Here's some links to those. Here's some clips of those interviews now.
Hey, am I gonna debut as a shirt? Because people already know who I am. And then he said no. And that's why you have to keep this in mind. That's why you have to do well on your first match. People already know who you are. And people will be expecting more from you. And, Coach Fabio has this weird way of, like, instilling, like, pressure on you so you would do well. But it works for me, and it has worked for a lot of us. So when he said that, I was like, oh no, okay. Gotta think about this now while I train for my debut.
But I know when I hit him with the thing and it went off, like it, exploded. His shirt caught on fire. It spun around. Like I burned half the hair off my body, and I felt the blast. And I was almost concussed, like from the blast.
Damn.
It was like a real. I'm also a combat veteran, so it was almost like having flashbacks of the war, getting IED'd. Like it was, I was literally in a flash of fire by that from that bat. Once it hit, it went off like fire. Everything just went right over my body. My mask was singed. My body hair was pretty much gone. My skin was red, from the burns. Like not deep skin burns, but the sting of being burned. You definitely felt it. It was absolutely crazy.
Right. And then on the 18th we have Ty Williams. On the 19th, Goblin. On the 24th, which is a Monday, we have Danny G. On the 25th, DJ The Disaster, and on the 26th, Isaiah Valencia. So definitely March already in the books. Just gotta wait until they drop. Alright, depending on who you ask, it was definitely an eventful week in pro wrestling, but I dare to say it was a great day for wrestling because we are wrestling with the news. Let's start with a bit of good news this week, and that is that one Lex Luger will be finally inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. All it took was him literally learning how to re-walk by Diamond Dallas Page to do so. I mean, I have no complaints about it. He should have been in maybe years ago. Well deserving, obviously a well-known name in pro wrestling. What say you, Kaliko?
I mean, he got in mainly for the WCW run and his pre-WWE run. I mean, him being in the WWE, he was a guy, and he was slated to be the guy, but like they always say, he just got usurped by one Bret Hart, who, people just loved him. But that's not like a knock on his wrestling career as a whole. One was one of the holders of the prestigious Big Gold and a U.S. heavyweight champion. Had one of the more unique submission moves with the torture rack, which was pretty good.
That's not a move you see quite often nowadays either.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like people don't really use that move a lot. I thought that move would have been, I feel like somebody like Brock could have used that move as a submission. But neither here nor there. Was one of the four horsemen. So, I mean, surprised he didn't get it. Well, I feel like it should be like the NFL when they induct a faction, the members of that. Well, never mind, because if it was the NWO, there'd be like 3,000 members. I was about to say, but he was in the NWO.
You do realize that if they inducted all of the members of the NWO, that Virgil would have been in the Hall of Fame as of right now.
I mean, low key, but he might as well be in the Hall of Fame.
But he's not.
Virgil was he's an iconic 80s character.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he was definitely the little buddy to $2 Million Man.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, who else was
if Flick's in the Hall of Fame, he should be in the Hall of Fame.
I mean, who else was a part of the NWO? Disco Inferno wasn't a part of the NWO, right?
Disco Inferno was in the NWO. Who wasn't in the NWO in '96?
Yeah,
that's the beggar question. Like, who wasn't in the motherfucker? But well deserved as an overall wrestling career, and this just goes to show DDP got that touch, man. You touch him, you make the Hall of Fame. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is with them and DDP, but for some odd reason, DDP gets a touch of him, they're like, oh shit, he can make the Hall of Fame. Like,
hey, everybody wants to talk about being a wrestling god. DDP is wrestling Jesus.
I mean, he should get in. I'm telling you, he gonna get in twice. I mean, is he even in yet?
Yeah, he's in.
That's what I'm saying. He gonna be a 2-time inductee for humanitarian work.
And he deserves it. He 100% deserves it.
He's gonna be a Warrior Award recipient.
Unfortunately, they don't do Warrior Awards anymore.
I mean, if they bring it back for what it actually meant, he would be the guy.
That I agree with. I mean, low-key, like, should they make the Warrior Award a part of the Hall of Fame? Or should it have been, like, its own thing on its own. You know what I mean?
Well, the Warrior Award was kind of like the Hall of Fame for the Warrior Award is kind of like was supposedly supposed to be kind of like how you know how like most Hall of Fames have like you have the careerist guys who actually are the fighters. Let's say like the NFL Hall of Fame, right? A contributor. There you go, contributor. So
Right.
it was meant to be a contributor to like to the business. It kind of like a contributor wing, if you will.
And then it kind of turned into something completely different.
Correct.
And just
And
when it went,
that's
and just when it went to the, it got to the point where it was kind of getting back to what Warrior was talking about, then they just scrapped it altogether.
right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, so it, because put it like this, there's no way a guy like Earl Hebner would make the Hall of Fame in the WWE without that.
I disagree. I mean, all.
I mean, no, I'm saying he'll make it, but I'm just saying like Little Nate.
Yeah. No, I get that.
You see what I'm saying? Like Little Nate, Earl Hebner, those dudes that are even like people that are helping people in the business, like a DDP.
Oh, you're absolutely right about that.
You know, so that would be my thought process. He's helped so many people. I mean, just in not only like in body wise, but just life. Shit.
Well, definitely well deserved when it comes to Lex going into the Hall of Fame, 100%. Going from somebody helping others to somebody that's helping themselves, and that's a one Iyo Sky. Out of all the what the fuck moments that happened this week, and there was a bunch of them, I would say that this is definitely up there, maybe top three, and that is that one Iyo Sky defeated the Eradicator, Mommy herself, Rhea Ripley, to win the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. Definitely did not see that coming, but not necessarily mad at it either. Super happy for Iyo. It's just bizarre how sometimes they protect somebody to the moon and back, and then the same person, it's not the same the next time around. You know, Rio went from holding the championship for a year straight to holding it for maybe what, 2 months and change.
True. Honestly, it made a bit of sense when you think about it. I mean, I thought about it in the sense because the one thing they always said was like, Rhea is one of those people where she can beat people, but there are people that got her number, right?
Yeah.
Last year, Liv had her number all throughout all of 2024. Liv was just hooping her ass upside the head. It wasn't even close. And then when you think of Iyo, I mean, I knew she was going to win when they brought up the fact that Rhea never beat Iyo. I was like, what? Like, did that never dawned in my head? Like, wait, what?
I mean, they only had 2 matches, but yeah, Iyo won
But
both of those. And also,
they had three.
Huh?
They had three.
Three. Well, I mean, also keep in mind that Iyo beat Rhea and Charlotte for her NXT title win as well.
Right. And the way Rhea lost, it made sense because she was so busy messing with Bianca.
Right.
it almost kind of like her confidence turned to arrogance.
Which is
Essentially, that's what it
pretty
was.
on par for Rhea. I mean, it's on theme.
You think that was on par for her?
I mean, yeah. You know, mommy is very confident until her confidence is shaken. Um, it's things like that hasn't changed for her. She still has that. Um, I don't know what to call it, but when she just has, you know, when her confidence is shaken, she gets
The
sloppy.
hubris.
Yeah, she gets sloppy. And we've seen that time and time again, but we haven't seen it obviously recently because, you know, not a lot of people have been taking it to Rhea, you know, when it comes to, you know, actual athleticism, you know, actually competitiveness. You know what I mean?
I can see your point there. I just think that it was a good. It's a shakeup. It's a great shakeup. Um,
It
it
definitely makes
leads
wrestling a
you
pop.
to. It makes you pay attention now.
Right.
Because keep in mind, this is usually this time they're so busy trying to have everything kind of booked that, you know, usually the whole card is booked. So you usually are just building those storylines that get there.
Right.
And I can only imagine, I can say without a doubt between this is probably the most changing of titles from January to Mania I've seen in a while in WWE. Because keep in mind, Liv started the year with the title,
Right. First,
and that
first of the
yep,
year.
she was the first of the year with the title, and
Actually, no,
then
no, no, no. Tiffy. Tiffy cashed in on January 1st on Naya. And
oh yeah, that's right.
then
No, no, no. Remember, the first Raw was in LA. Rhea beats Liv.
yeah, but this first SmackDown was on,
The first SmackDown was Tiffy cashing in on Nia. Yeah.
yeah. And then Iyo beat Rhea
Rhea
just yesterday. LA Knight pinned Nakamura to retain,
Nakamura.
yeah, to get the United States Championship. Um, how many times has
War Raiders beat fucking.
yeah. Did
I'm just saying,
Gargano
it's crazy.
did Gargano and Ciampa beat Motor City this year, or was that last year?
Ciampa beat. Yep. That was no, it was this year.
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah,
they're definitely making it more unpredictable going into WrestleMania. Because, like you said, usually everything is kind of cut and dry. You know, we know where we're going. We're building to those matches, and they're kind of switching up the narrative on us. You know, I'm definitely not mad at it, but do we see, because for anybody that hasn't seen, spoiler alert, Bianca Belair won the Elimination Chamber. The match is Bianca versus Iyo as of now at Mania. Does it go to a triple threat? Bianca, Rhea, and Iyo, or does what do they do with Rhea?
you can make the case for it. Um, you, you can make the case for it due to the fact that Bianca kind of got caught up in this beautiful drama segment that happened on Friday. You can, I personally, I think that was. Let me see. They've only had like usually they do one good ass woman storyline each year. And last year it was the Bailey Iyo. This year it's that Bianca, Jade, and Naomi.
But it's
That
so
segment was fucking not. That segment was nice. We'll get there when we get there. But yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like it's kind of keeping you on your toes. It's to make it because especially right around now, it's usually the lull part. And keep in mind, also, we are usually getting Mania at the beginning of April, and now it's mid-April, so they really got to make you kind of focus.
we still have like
Uh,
what a little over a month.
a whole, a little over a month and a half. So yeah, they really got to do things to kind of make you pay attention until then, and especially with March Madness coming up and so on and so forth. So yeah, they really got to kind of keep you in step with it.
Right. It's just but you mentioned it, Lo, so let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Obviously Bianca, Jade, and Naomi. Um, there's a big rivalry there, and like you said, pretty much a cinema on SmackDown yesterday. Um, which just kind of confuses me, if I'm being honest. Why would you have Bianca, going win the chamber, going to compete for the championship, when obviously the smoke is with Jade and Naomi, and that's where the money is with Jade and Naomi. But it's kind of like it's two separate worlds that Bianca's in. It's the world heavyweight title picture, and it's the drama that's going on with Naomi and Jade. You know what I mean?
Well, that's by design, though. I mean, because because Bianca, I mean, the way that came off, it was almost like Bianca. Bianca's like, I know I have to do something with it, but I have nothing to do with it, so I don't want nothing to do with it because her eyes are on the bigger goal, right?
Right.
Which leads me to believe I think Naomi's gonna come back for her ass.
Oh, for
You
sure.
don't scream like that for somebody's name, and then they desert you and gonna let that shit slide.
Oh yeah.
So it gives something where if Bianca loses, you can understand why she loses at Mania, because this is probably the most
Emotionally
distracted she's
healing.
ever been. This is the most distracted she's ever been heading to Mania, because usually when she's heading to Mania, it's one-on-one, she's focused, she's got nothing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then
Like she's usually like a beeline. There's usually a beeline for Bianca. This gives the opportunity for Bianca to show a range of emotion, because every year that she goes into Mania, into wrestling matches, it was just to prove that she's better as a wrestler.
right,
This allows her to go into WrestleMania as a uber developing character, if
right.
that makes sense.
No, absolutely, and you're absolutely right.
Like
This is the most range
spreading the range of her emotions.
This is the most range we've gotten out of Bianca when it came to character-wise from her. 100%. I mean, like you said, all her rivalries were based off of being the best, being EST. This is obviously a brand new animal that she hasn't dealt with yet. And obviously we're seeing some great shit coming out of it. I just like I said, I feel like it would have been. I mean, we could still maybe get there, but Bianca, Naomi, and Jade, triple threat Mania. I mean, I feel like that's where the money is. But
Well, well,
yeah,
the only reason you don't get there yet is because we know for sure that Jade is going for for
Naomi.
Naomi.
Yeah,
It could be kind of a Drew situation where she's just going for Naomi because that's the first person she's seeing right now, and that's the first person that's done her wrong. And she could easily shift that focus to Bianca because Bianca is not innocent in this. And I'll explain. Remember every time like after Jade got attacked, Bianca would be like, where's Jade? Have you heard from Jade? And Naomi's like, no, I ain't heard from Jade. And,
yeah.
Jade could easily go, motherfucker, you could have came and checked on me too,
Yes, that's what I was thinking during the the promo was like. I mean, when you get attacked, but like, was Jade like in a coma that she couldn't tell? That like was her jaw wired shut that she couldn't tell Bianca that it was Naomi?
I mean, it seemed like it seemed like Bianca was waiting on Naomi to give her like a message from a telegram when we're in the FaceTime era. Like, what the
Morse
fuck are
code.
you doing?
She was waiting
What
for
the fuck are you doing?
she was waiting for Morse code. Tap 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 tap.
You
Tap
know what
tap
I'm saying?
tap.
Like smoke signals, and we sitting up here, goddamn,
like
like, bitch.
like text message her. You have that ability.
No shit. Like, well, hot damn. But I mean, but that easily could turn. I'm telling you, it easily could go there. And and that's where it's the unpredictability.
Right.
So the emotions are gonna cost her.
We shall
It
see.
it, it just will. It will. It ain't even. It's coming.
I'm definitely genuinely curious to see how all of this plays out because, like I said, you have two very different storylines playing out on two different shows. It's just a matter of seeing how that goes. But speaking of Jade Cargill, it seems like the Gill is in some hot water. Um, it was reported, rumor and innuendo as we call it, that she was maybe in some hot water with Shayna Baszler. There was a confrontation between the two ladies after one of their matches. Um, I believe, if believe in what's going on, that Cargill accused Shayna Baszler of being too stiff and not knowing how to work. I don't know how accurate that would actually be. Um, a lot of the girls in the locker room are taking Shayna Baszler's side. I don't. I believe that Cargill hasn't made herself look favorable towards the other women in the locker room. She published the video on, I believe, Instagram or X or, I mean, social media. And there was a video of her saying something on the lines of working with wolves and women's clothing. And some of the ladies took offense to that. I could make the argument it was towards Naomi and the rivalry she's currently in because, obviously she's being, a bit two-faced with, how she's pretending that she's her friend and then she attacked her and, you know, but some are saying that it's not directed to Naomi. It's directed towards the women's locker room. I don't know. I could, where there's smoke, there's fire. So I could definitely see, there being issues and problems between Jade and some of the women of WWE. I don't think it's maybe as nuclear as they're making it out to be. I do feel like it's just, yeah, there's some problems. It's not going to necessarily affect work. You don't have to like the person that you're working with. You just have to work with them. But what say you, Kaliko? Do you think this is true? Do you think that it's on Jade's side? Do you think it's on, what are your thoughts on it?
I mean, it could be a bit of both. I mean, depends on when did this happen, right?
It was
Like,
after class at the castle, so around June, July?
damn, that was before she got, I mean, the only reason it might have legging to it is because you see Jade come in and she doesn't even touch NXT, goes straight to the main roster, becomes this big power player with Bianca, right?
And gets a title
You got
right
someone
off the bat as well.
right. And you see Shayna, who's probably been, getting it out the mud, if you will. And Jade could probably be feeling herself at that time. Just got signed, got tag titles, running with Bianca like it's nobody's business, having a ball. I mean, it's plausible.
Also keep in mind that Jade didn't necessarily come from a healthy locker room environment to begin with. You
She's like, I'm used to this shit.
right. So I mean, AEW's women locker room was anything but, a positive place to work. So, maybe it's a matter of she doesn't know, proper locker room etiquette. Maybe it's, that. Maybe she does have, you know, a bit of a more of an ego than she'd like to admit. But, who knows? I know that if you had Jade Cargill and Shayna Baszler, one-on-one in the street, I put money on Baszler 100% of the time.
Oh yeah, my money's on Shayna. 99.999.
Well, you're giving Jade 0.1000001%. I mean, you're a lot more generous
Shayna
than I am.
Shayna will fuck you up.
Yeah. I mean, there hasn't been anything on Shayna's side of things. But I mean, Shayna isn't the type of person to talk shit anyway, so um, maybe there's problems, but I don't think it's anything that isn't going to be resolved by WWE in the end. What are your thoughts?
I mean, until more likely we are making something out of something that's already been squashed.
More than likely.
So I mean, it's it yeah, it happened, but is it affecting how they work now? And that's the question we gotta ask. And if it's not, it's not. And just keep it pushing. I mean, I could see it though, especially, Jade's. This is what, year one, starting year two for Jade.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't put it past her.
Well, a quick little antidote. We're talking about year one, year two. Who's doing what. Um, Stephanie Vacour, just did an interview recently, and she mentioned that WWE actually gave her the option of what she wanted to do. Did she want to be on NXT, or did she want to be on the main roster? She mentioned, right off the bat, she said main roster. And then when she kind of slowed down and, got her bearings, she realized, I don't speak English. Maybe it'd be best if I started on NXT. And honestly, good on her for making that realization that, she wasn't, she didn't necessarily have all the tools she necessarily needed to be on the main roster to succeed. So, kind of put on that humble cap, so to speak, and say, okay, well, being here could actually help me progress. So good on her, no?
I mean, self-realization, but I don't think the way she looks, she don't need to speak English. She's,
Yeah. Her looks speak to our hearts.
yeah, her look speaks for herself. So, I mean, but honestly, it helped her. It helped her in NXT in the sense that it gave her the opportunity to have a cultish following. Because that girl's got a following. Julia's been there, and Stephanie's more popular than her.
You're not wrong. But I mean, Stephanie has more to her than Julia, if we're being completely honest.
They both don't talk. What are you talking about?
I'm not talking about language here, Kaliko, and you know that.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you talking about, never mind. Talking about bakery.
I mean, we call it the bakery for a reason.
You talking about the baked goods? Oh yeah, she's got the baked goods and the face. Yeah, it's a wrap.
She's got the cake, she got the icing, she has the decoration, she has the fondant, she has everything that a cake could possibly need to be the best cake that it possibly needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
And Julia,
yeah.
yeah.
No, I'm just
Mm.
just
Mm. Mm. Keeping up on the women, it was announced that there will be another Evolution PLE. Obviously, Revolution was the all women's pay preview, or PLE as we call them now. Back in 2018, there's only ever been one. Announced that there's going to be another one this year. I'm not mad at it. I think it's a good time to bring it back. They obviously have the woman power this time around that they maybe lacked last time around. And I mean, it gives the guys a couple of weeks to breathe, develop their storylines and what they need to do. And, it gives the women, that won't necessarily have storylines, an opportunity to develop storylines and maybe have, something, substantial that, isn't, Rhea Ripley,
yes.
Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, etc., etc. So, I mean, it gives girls like Valkyria an opportunity, Mission, Chelsea Green, etc., etc. You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, those titles are gonna get defended at Mania. I'm telling you right now. So Chelsea Green and Lyria is about to be busy.
It doesn't
Now
seem
the rest
like,
of them, yes.
it doesn't seem like Valkyria is going to be busy. It seems like she has a seat at catering at this point.
I don't see. I see. They're gonna have her defend the title. Be blasphemy not for her not to.
I mean, Chelsea had a memorable title defense yesterday on SmackDown, I'd say.
I know. And if you think that she didn't work her ass to get there, man, look,
And congratulations to Alba Fire making a re-debut as one of the security secret service for Chelsea Green. Think that it's gonna
I
actually
mean,
do her really well to actually be not a witchy bitch character that made no sense.
I mean, they did get rid of Isla though. Oh, that girl, she was a baddie too. See, Sean had the bakery, man. What they, boy, Chef Sean, that's what we're gonna start. Chef Sean.
Um, I think we should call him.
Sean the baker.
I mean, he's the baker, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Call him the Muffin Man. Um, speaking, well, actually, Revolution, the PLE. Did you have any other comments about it?
I low key, I'm think. What? I mean, it's gonna be interesting. I think, considering that we got new uh tag champs, it gives it. You know, what I'm saying it. The roster, the women's roster, is sufficiently deep enough to have one.
Right.
This is the, I mean, even at the last one they had, it was deep, but this one is the deepest that they ever been, if you're including NXT.
I would definitely include NXT to that. I don't see why you couldn't involve NXT in the Revolution PLE. You know, I dare say that they have a good enough women to have a little WWE versus NXT match at Revolution. You know, get all the women from NXT, all the women from WWE, have a little 5-on-5 match. I don't think that would suck. Especially considering on Tuesday, Sol Ruka defeated Chelsea Green as well. So, I mean, she might be getting the title opportunity sooner rather than later as well.
Could be. I just think that, I mean, but that's why they got the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. James, that's why they combined all the damn titles. So they could fucking have Liv Morgan go to NXT and just go smack motherfuckers upside their head.
I mean, very true. But somebody that's not smacking motherfuckers upside the head no longer is a one Carmella. Um, she she was not fired. Her contract came up and WWE decided not to renew. She decided to go on a podcast. I don't even know who the podcast was with. From what I'm hearing, it's somebody that was on the show 16 and pregnant. So, um, that tells you, the credibility of the podcast. But Carmella was stating that she didn't feel that she felt like it was a crappy way to end a 12-year career, which it absolutely is. Um, she's been injured after giving birth and pregnancy and all that stuff. Um, and she was trying to rehabilitate so she could make her in-ring return, but alas, WWE did not see that, and she felt that it had something to do with her being her going away for so long and giving birth, which
Ding, 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 ding.
okay, elaborate.
Ding, 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 ding. That's the answer. Because if you haven't noticed, the landscape that she left is not the landscape she came back to.
Yeah.
Like a whole new fucking world. Because keep in mind, Carmella was signed as a work in progress.
Yeah.
And she progressed very, very well. I'm not going to sit there and lie and say that she hasn't. I think she's had some great moments in NXT. It was just the timing when she ended up having the baby, plus the timing of that injury, the entire landscape of that division changed. Think about it. I think, well, she's been out for 2 years?
Yeah.
So Nia Jax came back. Jade Cargill just jumped in.
Shawn
Naomi came back.
Shawn Michaels made a bakery.
Yeah, Naomi came back. And this is just us with thinking that the main roster.
Mm-hmm.
That bakery is waiting to get leashed on the main roster. It's in the oven. He got them hoes in the oven, waiting to bring their ass back up. Roxanne Perez, her ass is due for the main roster, and she's only 20. What, 22?
Something like that. Like I said, Sol Ruka just beat Chelsea Green.
Chelsea Green coming back, but Chelsea Green is in the spot where Carmella would be.
Yeah. I dare say that Jordan Grace could have been on the main roster at this point. I mean, hell, we could see Julia on the main roster in the next couple of months.
I think she's it depends.
Vicor
will make it before. Vicor will be there, but Vicor will win the match. Vicor is going to win the match, and she'll still make the main roster before Julia.
Wow, that's a bold prediction. Well,
she has it, man. She is it. That she's it. That's it.
And it's something. And it is something NXT desperately needs to draw money right now. So I think they'll leave her on NXT until they find somebody to replace her that has it, like she has it. You know what I mean?
Nah. She countdown's on.
Well, Carmella was trying to blame WWE by saying, her because she was gone from her pregnancy so long, that was one of the deciding factors. And I would maybe say, yeah, if, Alexa Bliss didn't, come back last month.
Becky Lynch?
After having given birth, and for anybody that doesn't know, Alexa and Carmella gave birth literally weeks apart. So, there's that as well. Like you said, Becky Lynch. There's a girl on NXT. One of the announcers, she just gave birth she didn't just give birth, but she was out with pregnancy as well, and she just came back. Kelly something.
Are you talking about the ring announcer or the?
She was something Quinn on Ring of Honor. Something Quinn or Quinzel or some shit like that. I can't remember.
Something like that. But the point we're making is that is one hell of an outlier.
Yeah. But no, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
Because it was just a matter of timing. I don't, and that's not me. I'm not dunking on her, but that was just it's just timing. The time, literally, her 2 years being gone seemed like light years. Now, I'm not gonna sit there and say that it's mainly her fault, because of the simple fact. I'm not gonna say it's her fault that they didn't give her a chance to show what she's got, because it's not fair for someone like Bliss to come back and get, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And get just thrusted into the chamber and thrusted into the, you know what I'm saying? Into the Rumble. I think Carmella could have done well too. I just wonder how much advocating she was trying to do. Or could she have been collateral damage for Corey? I don't know.
I mean, WWE is pretty petty, but not renewing somebody's, wife because because you had some bad things to say on Twitter, it seems a little bit too petty, in my opinion.
I mean, I'm just saying anything is possible.
Well, you're not wrong. Keeping up on, obviously Carmella didn't get renewed. And Mickie James is being replaced on Legends and Future Stars next season, with a one Michelle McCool. Undertaker said he'd continue being on the show as long as Michelle McCool was a part of it. And they said okay, and it was in spite of Mickie James. It just feels like we're back in 2008 again. But I digress. It seems like Mickie James cannot cut a break with WWE anymore. Am I wrong on that, or what are your thoughts?
I mean, she just got inducted in the Hall of Fame. You saw that shit coming, bro. Like, come on, man. Gave her that Legends deal, and Taker was like, oh, yeah, let's go ahead and leverage this.
They could have replaced her with Booker T. I mean, I love Booker T, obviously, but I mean, Booker T has a job with WWE. He's enjoying the bakery, like he's literally the commentator.
He speaks for all of us in the bakery. That's it.
You ever see Cheers, and you have Norm, who's the barfly?
Yes.
Booker T is the Norm of NXT.
You can make an argument.
So I mean, you could have replaced Booker T with Michelle McCool. I don't think he would have, cared. But that's just my opinion.
I mean, maybe but hey, he cares enough. That's all that matters. You got to care a lot. Just got to care enough.
I suppose. As of now, I didn't hear anything on Mickie James's side of things, whether if she was angry about it or not. But I mean, there's not a lot she could necessarily say. I mean, it's Undertaker's wife, so. And I mean, Nick Aldis only has so much pull in WWE, no?
The fuck you gonna do about it? I mean, so much pull compared to Taker, he ain't got shit.
Very true. I don't even know if you know about this, but it was announced that NWA for the Crockett Cup, they're bringing in Natalya of WWE. She's going to be competing on the Crockett Cup. Don't actually have a date for it, but yeah, Natalya being lended out to NWA. I think that would be great for her. She actually gets
Thank God, because they be fucking that girl up.
I mean, she gets to compete. The women of NWA gets to learn, if they actually know who she is. And
no, you didn't just say that.
They didn't know who Jazz was. So if they didn't know who Jazz was, what makes you think they're gonna know who Natalya is?
Because Natalya is a Neidhart. God damn it.
I mean, it's
That's
like,
why.
I'm not literally no shade on Natalya. Like, people should know who Natalya is, but it doesn't leave, new, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed wrestling girls to not know the people that came before them. You know what I mean?
That's bullshit. I call bullshit on that. Because if they know who Lita and Trish Stratus is, Natalya was literally in the same cohorts. No, give me that shit. Mickey James, all of them were in the same cohort.
Okay, so where this is coming from is Angelina Love. She obviously works for NWA, and she was speaking about the girls that came in or did extra work or just worked in general for NWA. And she said they did not know who I was. And even worse, they didn't know who Jazz was backstage. So I hope that they would get better girls that were maybe a little bit more educated, but let's hope for the best for NWA, no?
And these motherfuckers don't know shit.
What does it kind of tell you that we're at the point where WWE is lending out wrestlers to NWA? It kind of seems like everybody gets to play except AEW. No, no.
Well, that's AEW's fault.
Is it?
No one thought they had to talk shit about WWE every chance they got.
It's all they have at this point is talking shit about WWE.
There you go. There it is.
Well, and that brings us to our last. Oh, anything else you want to add?
Like that's all you can say. There it is. It is what it is.
Yeah, more or less.
It's just a damn shame.
Our last bit of news this week. I don't think it needs to be said. Obviously John Cena won the Elimination Chamber, going to compete against Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 41, to attempt to capture his 17th World Championship. That being said, the person co-holding the record for 16-time World Champion, Ric Flair, said that John Cena would have to go through him in order to capture his 17th World Championship, implying that Ric Flair once again will come out of retirement.
Man, if you don't stop dropping that shit, man, Rick, go home. Go home, bro. We love you. Go home, bro.
I think he was at home when he said this.
Well, he needs to be, stay off Zoom, Twitter. Just chill, bro. You got it.
All social medias.
I know life's been grand since you ain't, you ain't in the marriage game, but come on, bro.
It would be fun to. It would be a fun little, antidote, if Ric Flair actually did retire in, 2008 when he was supposed to, or even after, the failed TNA run. But, bro, you had a heart attack in your last match. Like, just give it up. It's over. You had a good run. Calm down.
Yeah, somebody needs to tell him to sit the fuck down. Sit the fuck down.
Take away the wrestling part of things. Ric Flair almost died like 3 or 4 times. 2.
So he really thinks he got 9 lives in this bitch.
You might not be wrong about that.
Like, That's the only way you be on some shit like that.
And
He really think he a cat in this bitch. He really think he got this motherfucker think he got 9 lives.
and you know what? He would be right to think that way because he's not dead yet.
Yeah, I mean, if he's gonna go out, he's like, I'm going out how he wanna go out.
Cue the last scene from The Wrestler.
You ain't lying, shit, man. That boy don't take his ass somewhere down.
Alright, I think that will conclude the news. And now a quick word from our sponsors. So,
Rogue Energy, the only gaming drink company in the world with 4 unique product lines to suit your task at hand, whether it be juices, shakes, smoothies, and everything else in between. Their low-calorie, no-sugar energy formula is the perfect alternative to sugar-filled canned energy drinks and sodas. Their extreme formula provides the most energy, focus, and sports performance possible. Their hydration line offers focus, ingredients without the added caffeine. Drink it anytime you're thirsty. And their shake formula is so delicious. Who doesn't love a cookies and cream, 0-calorie energy milkshake? First and foremost, they've designed every Rogue product line with performance and effectiveness in mind. It is critical that you look at the nutrition panels of drinks when comparing options. There are countless off brands out there that are presenting low quality, poorly dosed formulas that amount to expensive caffeine water. Every formula they produce is designed with optimal levels of high quality ingredients. Additionally, you won't find a powdered gaming drink brand that dissolves better. No need to have chalky textures in your drink. Their taste profiles are unmatched, specifically designed for gamers, athletes, students, entrepreneurs, people with hectic schedules, individuals with low energy, podcasters who can't shut up, people who are health conscious, and so much more. Great as both a pre-workout and as a coffee energy drink replacement. Specifically designed every Rogue product line to be the best gaming drink on the planet. Rogue Energy, more focus, more wins.
use promo code WrestlingWithE for 10% off your next purchase. And we are wrestling with WWE Elimination Chamber. It took place last Saturday in Toronto, Ontario, Canada at the Rogers Centre. Attendance was 38,493, which is kind of disappointing considering that they filled that stadium with 68,000 people in the past.
Well, considering the times that we are in now, yeah, niggas ain't really trying to travel.
You're talking about...
Considering the climate today, traveling's rather risky.
I mean, just hold on. Where's the? I had the the attendance was 68,237 at WrestleMania X8. So I mean, literally more than half of what they did at Mania, but that could just be from inflated, ticket prices as well. So.
I mean, that's one factor. The fact that it's in Canada, the fact that Canada don't really want America there, the fact that I thought it's a multi-layered thing here.
I mean, I feel like they have Canada has enough Canadians to fill up, 68,000 seats.
They do. They could, but I also think that something like that would be a trap. Like, I mean, they were just there. I feel like they were just there.
They're always just there.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, bro, you trying to spin the block again? Like, but and plus it's close to Mania. Most people are probably dedicated to Mania. I mean, you're already selling your soul to go to Mania. I mean,
Very true.
skip the chamber. Skip the chamber. Shit. Fuck it. Fuck that shit. Man, fuck the chamber. Vegas alone is gonna put you 6 figures in the hole.
You're not wrong. Well, there was only 4 matches and a soul selling segment. That being said, what was your thoughts on the soul as a whole?
That really wasn't a segment. It was just a post-match drama. How can I? The show as a whole. 4 matches. I perfectly think that was the right formula. 4 matches. It was the 4 right matches, which is what matters. That matters more than anything. They had a match to make the hometown hero look good. They had a match that made you wonder whether they were just trying to test the limits of the Canadian healthcare system. And then they had the 2 chamber matches. Because I didn't even throw in the chambers matches with the healthcare system, but shit.
Well, let's get into it. The women's elimination chamber match. We had Alexa Bliss, Bayley, Liv Morgan, Naomi, and Roxanne with Bianca Belair. And the winner was Bianca Belair. Somebody
not on our bingo card.
That's what I was about to say. Not on our bingo card. I don't think anybody necessarily called that. I don't even think it was discussed on the internet that it was going to be Bianca as well. You know, we were talking about the drama between Bianca and Naomi and Jade, and we thought that was what path to WrestleMania. WWE is like, nope, she's getting on a title match, bitch. And so she is.
Well, it's not even that they're it's merged. They merged both paths, which makes it more interesting for Bianca as a character.
I thought the match was okay.
To be quite honest,
I thought the match was okay. I feel like Liv Morgan was the MVP. Just kind of.
Yes.
Her facial expressions were priceless at the beginning when Jade just came in. She got beat to hell and high water. Like shit. Like she did not look good after that match. She was like legitimately looked like she got fucked up. And you know it continues the Liv Morgan narrative. Always the bridesmaid, never the bride. So
well, I wouldn't even go that far because she's the tag champion. So it wasn't really necessary in her case.
But I mean, like we were talking about, nobody necessarily had Bianca on their bingo card.
Yeah, that was not on the bingo card. That nope.
I could definitely make an argument of why the hell did they open the cell for Jade to get in, and then just to get security to get her out. I'm not though.
I think she came out before they padlocked that bitch.
They opened the door for her.
But I mean, yo, hey.
Talk about WWE logic.
Yeah, you would have.
We don't.
Well, the bell didn't. Oh yeah, because the bell rang. Did the bell ring?
I don't remember. I mean, it's no disqualification match, Kaliko. I mean, it doesn't matter if the bell rang or not.
No, that matters because of the simple fact that no. My point is that you said that they just opened the door for her.
They did.
No. You're missing my point. You're missing the point I'm trying to get. I get that it's no disqualification. Let's toss that on one side.
Okay.
That's why the whole reason I asked did the bell ring, because there was a hell of a gap between, because when Jade beat the brakes off her ass, and then they just said she couldn't continue. I'm trying to remember, did they ring the fucking bell?
I think the bell did ring because they counted down for the next person to come in, like maybe
that's my point.
Couple seconds later.
Like, so Liv had a buy, but she paid for it because somebody, man, Bianca beat the brakes off her ass.
That she did.
Bianca beat. Everybody that whiplash. Oh. Just fucks her whole side up.
So like I was saying, decent match. It got the point across that it needed to get. Obviously an unexpected moment with, Bianca winning. But if I'm being honest, not maybe the most memorable chamber match that's been out there. But what say you?
Most memorable?
No, not the most memorable.
Oh, I was about to say, it had memorable moments, not the most memorable. Maybe because it was just because the players in it were random.
Okay.
So there was no real through point, because the only through point you could think of was Liv to Naomi and Bianca.
Yeah.
And everyone else was kind of like in it.
I mean, Bayley and Roxanne have their tiff going.
I mean, Bayley and Roxanne had their thing, and then of course, Bayley gets the payback, which means they're gonna fight at Stand and Deliver.
Right.
So it's it was just like the stories that needed to get done got done. The shocking twist came, and it kicked off how everyone would react, right? So unlike the main event, in which the twist came at the end, this one, it came at the beginning, and it kind of set the tone of how the match came. And Bianca winning as the underdog through all that adversity is what made, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you just saw your friend get her ass skull drugged through that chamber cell, and not by Liv Morgan.
Yeah.
So yeah, very, very big toll put on her.
How many stars do you give this one?
3.5. It was good. It got done what needed to get done for certain things to set up. But other than that, nothing really standout worthy. Other than the Bianca whiplash, that shit just so.
Yeah. That was nasty. Yeah, I agree. 3.5. I only give it the extra half a star because I did not see Bianca winning, and it was a pleasant surprise, not an surprise. So yeah, 3.5.
I mean, especially considering what happened after with the whole Iyo thing. So now, which is good. I mean, that's a good thing because it's a new match that no one's really seen. if they are going to go that route as a one-on-one.
Yeah, no, definitely. Um. Okay, so now we go to Meltzer, no?
All right, you got it. It is a time for another episode of Guess That Rating. See, this is where I wish I had a goddamn soundboard. But anyways, it's time for you to guess that rating.
Woo! Okay, so let's go with 3.25.
Nope.
3.
Higher.
3.5.
4.5.
4.5, really?
4.5. I'm telling you, I think it's because of that twist. The twist at the beginning that set it all up. Because the story plot became Bianca overcoming the odds, which I could see. I just, you know what I mean? And I give them that. But other than that, if you took that away from it, that match was not like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But, I mean, I get that, and you get that, but you're actually stating that Meltzer is acknowledging a good story by WWE, which he just doesn't do.
Oh, wait till you get to the rest of them.
Well, let's talk about Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus defeated Nia Jax and Candice LeRae in 11.
Next.
I mean, yeah, this was definitely the P break match, unfortunately.
No, this was the Trish hometown feeling match because they didn't have people from Toronto in this bitch. So they're like, let's find Trish. You're from Toronto. Get your ass in.
I mean, it was a match on the card. I don't think anybody was thinking this was going to be a 5-star match in the Tokyo Dome to begin with.
No.
It was just a transition match. It was okay. I can't really say anything positive about it. Can't necessarily say a lot negative about it either. It existed, I could say.
It did what it needed to do to get Tiffy over.
And that it did. When you have the people chanting, "We want Tiffy," when you have your hometown hero in there, it definitely tells you, where your main star is.
Exactly.
How many stars you give it?
2.
Yeah, I agree. So,
yeah, Meltzer.
1/7/5.
Nope.
2.5.
Nope.
3.
2 3/4.
Damn it with the 3/4. Alright, now we have, Kevin Owens defeating Sami Zayn in an unsanctioned match in 27 minutes and 35 seconds.
That wasn't an unsanctioned match. That was a let's test Canada's healthcare system match.
That as well. This was, production-wise, this was chef's kiss, in my opinion. They made it seem like it was unsanctioned. They turned the lights off. They covered the ring, the ring post, not the ring post, the turnbuckles that have the WWE logo on them. They took those, they covered them. They didn't cover the sponsors in the ring. Um,
Yeah,
but,
they didn't cover Prime. I'll be goddamn.
yeah. Well, watch these two people mutilate themselves. Sponsored by Prime. Um, but it was physical. It was at times a little hard to watch, and I think that's what they were going for. I was not expecting a barbed wire steel chair. I kind of low key felt like I was watching Kevin Steen versus El Generico rather than Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens, which says a lot about the physicality that they put themselves through. Um, Not a speck of blood as well, which is nice. Because that would have been a AEW bloodbath. Everything worked pretty well for me. What say you, Kaliko?
I don't know how I feel about this match because I'm trying to figure out, can an unsanctioned match win match of the year?
I imagine so.
Because that fucking match. Granted, I watched this match with an 8-year-old kid next to me. And it turned him every which way but sideways. And it turned me every which way but sideways. That match was just 30 minutes of beating the hell out of each other. It's like they took the Fight Forever thing from 2017 and was like, yeah, okay, let's go ahead and pull that shit out of our ass, right? Oh gosh, that match was brutal. The part that got me the most was when Sammy did the drop toe, and Kevin Owens' face bounces off the barbed wire chair.
Oh yeah.
I stopped after that. I was like, bro, that's like, ugh. But that man, I mean, they threw it all out on the line there, man. It was crazy, and we ain't even talking about Randy coming back. That's just the match.
Yeah.
The match itself was just crazy good. It told the story of two friends that knew each other a long time, putting each other through hell just for the fun, just to, it told it. I mean, they were all over the arena. Sammy taking the bump on 2 tables, damn near getting power drive, got that power bump. It was fitting that he hit him with the power bomb that he on the side of the ring, same way NXT. It was a lot of good callbacks.
Oh yeah.
In that match. So if you were an astute observer of these two, they had a lot of great callbacks in that match. Which to me, you say what?
And the right person won as well. Every time.
Yeah, right person won.
Yeah, every time that, Kevin and Sammy wrestled, Kevin would get the best of Sammy. That's not, necessarily, hidden knowledge.
Yeah, Sammy got him a couple times in Orange.
I mean, compared to how many times Owens got him.
Oh yeah, Owens beat his ass in 10 ways from Sunday.
Yeah.
But that's always been the persona of this match, is that Kevin is always willing to take it there, way there before Sammy will take it there.
Right. And then, like you said,
that's the story of their friends. Story of the friendship.
And like you said, it kind of seems like Randy Orton got overshadowed in every aspect of this show. You know, the match itself, you know, what's gonna happen, what happened prior. And then it was like, oh yeah, Randy Orton came back. When Randy Orton comes back, it's like the back burner information of a show. It just tells you how stacked the show was.
Not even that. It just shows you how this was the match of the night.
Oh yeah.
For me, anyway.
Oh, I agree with that. If I'm gonna go back and watch Elimination Chamber, it's gonna be for this match for sure.
Yeah. I would, yeah. That's the only reason I'm watching it.
Right.
Well, other than Travis Scott and understanding assignment, but that's a whole nother. We'll get there when we get there.
That's a whole nother segment, Kaliko.
With his drunk ass. Anyways, let's.
It wasn't his drunk ass, it was his high ass. Motherfucker literally lit a fatty in the fucking ring.
I mean, drunk, high, and off an energy drink. He was on all three. But
things.
we'll get there when we get there. We'll get there when we get there. This match was the match of the night. How many stars would I give this? I dare to give this a 5. Because it was a perfect blend of storytelling mixed with violence that seemed edgy violent, but not like, I'm gonna make sure I bleed all over the place violent.
Right. No, I completely get that. I give it 4.5. It was the history was there, and you know you just build off of what was already there. But maybe it was just placement. Maybe it just didn't seem. I don't know why I'm not giving it the full 5, but maybe it was just my attitude going into the show, but I feel like 4.5 is a solid rating for this for sure, in my opinion.
Alright.
Right. So that leads us to Dave Meltzer, correct?
Dave Meltzer, yep.
5 stars.
That is correct. 5 stars. Get it a 5.
And I'm going. I could take complete credit for that, or I could just tell you that I saw that online a little earlier today.
Cheater.
I was honest. I could have took the credit, but I didn't. It was like somebody was saying on Reddit. It was the first 5-star match Meltzer gave in like years.
That's the last time they gave a 5-star match, if I'm not mistaken, was Punk Cena 2011. Money in the Bank.
Did that get 5 stars?
That got 5 stars.
Then that was like what? That was like almost 15 years ago.
Yes.
Alright, so that happened. Alright, and that brings us to the last match, the main event, the thing everybody wanted to see, and that is the men's Elimination Chamber match. John Cena defeated CM Punk, Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul, and Seth freaking Rollins in 32 minutes and 40 seconds. Did not feel like it was a 32-minute match. Kind of felt, maybe it felt longer, maybe it felt shorter. But I do feel like that was the sweet spot, if I'm being honest. Good back and forward. Obviously, this was a stacked Elimination Chamber. nice to see the back and forward between Punk and Cena in the Chamber. Um, we got to see the progression of Punk and Seth Rollins. Low key, I felt like they did Drew McIntyre super dirty in this match, but that's probably another topic for another time.
I mean,
And I mean, Logan Paul was just in it, so I mean, there's not a lot to say about that. But like you usually say, everybody kind of understood the assignment, and I think everybody executed pretty well. It was damn near a flawless match, if I say so myself. What say you, Kaliko?
uh, yeah, all of them understood the mother effing assignment, and they performed it perfectly. Um, I, I, I would be remiss because I'm kind of watching this with a lens that I'm watching it through two eyes, the eyes of me and then the eyes of, at the time, at that time, my kid was sitting there and we're watching the fight. And this dude was every bit into this match for John Cena's sake as probably that crowd was in Toronto. Um, when it, the thing, every, when the numbers started dwindling and you just started to realize, like, oh shit, Punk and Cena's about to go at it. And we kind of figured it would be one of them two, right? I mean, we had those two on our bingo cards.
Yeah.
I can't, yeah, we both had Punk and Cena on the bingo card. So it was only fitting that it came down to those two, and it was a great chance to call back their rivalry, as you can see, and consider what happened after the match, added a new wrinkle into it. But with that being said, everybody performed admirably. Drew losing like that, I see your point, but it continues with the narrative he's been pushing for the last year and a half. That he's been getting screwed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, um, at the by the end of the match, and obviously, ironically enough, all of this happened because Seth Rollins let his hatred for CM Punk inadvertently cause The Rock to get exactly what he wanted. Which, obviously Seth still has his issues with Rock as well. Which I just find interesting and ironic. But at the end of the match, I was kind of felt spoiled, like I drank spoiled milk, because I so did not want to see John Cena win the match. As I've said before, I didn't want him to win the Royal Rumble. I've seen enough of him, and I'm glad that he's retiring. So, to see John Cena win again, it definitely left a bitter taste in my mouth. And it didn't make me feel any better that The Rock was gonna come out, have his segment with Cody, and it could be this whole The Rock milking the crowd and having a 15-minute promo before he actually gets to the point of what he's there actually to do. So, so needless to say, I was pretty negative by the end of this match, to say the least. But after the fact, I was actually pretty positive. But had to get there first. Um, but the match, and I'm pretty critical of the Elimination Chamber matches at this point. They're kind of cookie cutter, nothing necessarily. They're all pretty similar to each other. The only distinction this one had was, it had some really big stars in it. And obviously the ending, was a major thing in pro wrestling history. Um, but everything that we saw, everything we've seen, how many stars you give this one?
Now, am I including with all the drama that happened or after all the drama that happened?
That's a good question.
Because the match itself really had little bearing.
Well, considering Cena was still out there and it kind of happened like right after the match. Like there was literally no time between segment the last segment and the segment before that, other than, taking the picture time. I would say let's connect it. The last segment and the chamber itself.
A 5.
Hmm.
And the reason I say that is because I could watch this with my wrestling eye and dissect it to the motherfucking T, right? And that's why I think it jades me a bit. So it was refreshing to see it. I'm looking at it from the eyes of a kid who's watching the match and watching his favorite wrestler of all time win. And watch the person who's telling him to do everything you can to be a better person win. A person that he personally met win. And then for all that shit to come unraveling. And then to see that same 8-year-old look him dead in the face and just go, oh my God, I can't. I hate him, bro. Only for me to explain to him why he did it.
You're explaining pro wrestling logic to an 8-year-old, Kaliko?
Yes, I have to explain why he would. No. Let me rephrase this. I had to give him John Cena's perspective of why he would do it.
Okay. And how did that go?
That's when he was like, oh yeah, okay, I still fuck with Cena.
Well, it seems like not all the kids had that perspective.
Well, all the kids did get that lesson. He did get Kaliko's perspective. I haven't seen this many kids cry since Brock Lesnar killed his ass 10 years ago.
You're not wrong.
Dead ass. And it was beautiful. But that was when I didn't have a kid, man. I had to kind of break it down. Like, okay, this is why he did it, bro. I'm telling you why he did it. And he was like, he did it because he wants to break the record. Like, yeah, that's why he did it. I basically explained to him that the reason Cena did it is because he's so desperate to break this record and believes that it's best for business for him to be champion, that he's willing to do it at all costs. And that's when he was like, okay, I still fuck with him.
I thought the segment was good. I'd like
The
to.
segment was great, except for Travis Scott. Travis Scott, let me, before you get, Travis Scott, don't put your ass in a ring ever again in your life, bro. My man walked out there drunk off tequila, because I know he was drinking that tequila in the back. Drunk off tequila, lighting a blunt in the ring, and drinking an energy drink. This dude was drunk and high on uppers and downers like you never seen him.
He was the motherfucking elevator.
Dude, he was. Everybody else got shit popping off. This nigga hanging on the ropes like Nikki Bella. What the fuck are you doing? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, sir? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
And he fucked up Cody the most. He gave him the black eye, and if you believe the rumor and innuendo, he ruptured his eardrum as well.
Yes. Or the fact that he tried to, like, when they were trying to hit Cody with the belt, he fucking arches Cody's back up. I don't know if people noticed. When John Cena grabbed Cody's head and pushed his head down, I could literally see in Cena's head as a heel thinking, if this motherfucker don't put him down. Like in my head, it was just funny as shit. Like, if you don't move your black ass down so I can get this shit. But yeah, it was the funniest shit ever. That was the funniest shit.
And I say that it was a good segment and not a great segment because of Travis Scott. It was literally like, bro, why the fuck are you out there? What value did you add to this segment?
Yep, it was one of those. You don't even go here.
I mean, if that was Bad Bunny, like, I would totally get it. I would understand that. I would be okay. Bad Bunny going to the dark side. But Travis, like you said, Travis Scott, you don't even fucking go here, bro. Why are you here? Apparently he wants to have a match. He's training. I don't know if that's actually true.
It threw me off because it just was like, okay. And then his song comes out, and then the rock songs come out. So I'm like, wait a minute. Like 2 months ago, you was just out there with goddamn motherfucking Jey Uso. I just take it to the fact that he's just been lighting blunts in the arena so much, he don't know who the fuck he coming out with.
I don't think he knows where he is.
He could be coming out with Ray Charles, all he knows.
The match itself, I give 4 stars. The segment that came after is worth the extra star. So everything as a whole, 5 stars.
4.5, 5 stars. See, that's what I thought. But yeah, Travis Scott, bro, he is good.
Should we give it? I'm just wondering. Should we give it 4 7/5 a star to subtract that half because of Travis Scott?
I kind of want to, but that's what makes it funny because he was so lottie-dottie naive that it made it funnier than what it should be. It brought comedy to a part that was like uberly bad. Kids are crying and I'm laughing because Travis Scott is sitting up here yanking and knocking the shit out of Travis Scott. Like, my kid's sitting there crying his ass off. Travis Scott slapping the shit out of him, and there ain't nobody like, what the fuck is he? Where was this when John Cena was beating his ass?
John Cena
He's
finally.
like,
Yeah.
it's like he just forgot to go. I forgot to get my lick in. Like, what the fuck
Oh
is
yeah, I was
wrong with
supposed to
you,
do
bro?
shit in this.
Yeah, I was supposed to do something. Oh shit. Ay, ay, ay. Fucking Travis, bro. Fucking Travis.
In all seriousness, it's obviously a really big moment that John Cena turned heel. Obviously a big moment in time. Not a lot of people thought it was gonna happen. I got I wasn't expecting it until after the Royal Rumble. And then, last week on, well, 2 weeks ago on SmackDown, it just kind of cemented it with the whole sell your soul Cody thing. Um, to me, personally, I wasn't a John Cena fan. Haven't been a John Cena fan since 2008. And I highly doubt him starting to say "fuck them kids" and "no you can't" is gonna make me like him any more than I don't. Uh, so so personally, it didn't have that big of an impact on me. I was kind of like, okay, cool, he turned heel. I also, it doesn't make sense to me because it's obviously his last year in the WWE. Why wouldn't you just milk that cash cow for everything that it's worth with, merchandise? Keep him face. But, I digress. What's it?
You know why?
Huh?
I know why.
Yeah?
It's because he's handing off the generational face to Cody. I told you this. I was like, the only way Cody turns heel is if he's facing a face Cena. And it wouldn't have made sense to put them together as two faces facing each other because Cody would catch hell if he beats fucking Cena.
Right.
So they had to do that out of necessity to set it up. And the adults who've been harping for this shit forever is like, hell yeah, fuck the fuck is this shit been all our life? Like,
I mean, it came a
took you
little
fucking
too
long
late,
enough.
in my opinion, but I understand what other people were excited for.
I mean, everyone's gonna say that, and that's perfectly reasonable. But better late than never. Shit.
And you know what the stupid part is? I feel like after Cody beats Cena at Mania, John Cena is gonna shake his hand, lift his arm, and he's gonna say, "I'm sorry, I just needed to know," or it's yours, and he'll go
What?
right back to being face Cena again after Mania.
That is not gonna happen. I don't see that happening. That ain't.
I totally see it happening.
Nah. I think personally, either one or two people are gonna help Cody, because Cody can't do it on his own. He's gonna need some help around
Hmm.
this bitch. So it's one or two people that are gonna help him. It's gonna be either Austin or Roman.
Interesting.
One of those two are gonna help him. I thought it would have been Punk,
Mm,
but after the shit Punk was talking mad shit on Monday. But the way that Seth came out and they just started brawling, I guess that shit ain't over. I thought that
yeah,
shit was over in January. I guess that shit ain't over.
that shit is not over.
Seth Rollins is on his "I'm not finished with you." Uh,
Seth Rollins is
but
like
yeah,
that. The Black Knight from Mighty Python. I cut off your arm. Well, it's merely a flesh wound. Come at me, bitch.
Pretty much. I mean, but that works. I mean, but I really wanted to see Punk fucking main event Mania.
I mean, he might be main eventing night one with Roman and Rollins. I mean, that's a massive fucking match.
Roman and Rollins?
Yeah, I mean, that's what is scheduled as of right now. It's Roman, Rollins, and Punk in a triple threat. And I feel like that's more of an attraction than Jey Uso and Gunter. So I think that might main event night one.
You think so?
I think so. Yeah.
It's
We'll see what happens with
iffy
the
to me.
women.
The woman, Charlotte's gonna get a spot. It's old versus new with Charlotte and Tiffy, but
I don't think Tiffy and Charlotte is going to main event, but there's a good, depending on what the build is between Iyo and Bianca and Rhea, they could give that the main event night one.
I don't think the women's gonna get the main event.
I mean, again, it depends on what they do and the story that they build. All right.
Yeah.
We forgot about Meltzer's rating. And I promise I did not see what the rating was for this match. I do not know. I only knew the Kevin Owens Sami Zayn match. So,
Oh Lord.
I will say he gave it 4.5.
Higher.
5.
Lower.
4 7/5.
4 7/5. I guess we are all on the same page.
All right. So yeah. The show as a whole. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle.
I mean, the Kaiser match between Owens and Zayn.
Yeah.
The fucking Kaiser Permanente match alone made it worth a thumbs up. Cena in itself turning, I think, how about it? Thumbs up because the moments were there. The twists, the twists that we didn't see coming came.
Agreed. Thumbs up as well.
Take notes, AEW.
Well, we'll be talking about them in just a second. That will conclude our coverage of WWE Elimination Chamber. And we are wrestling with AEW Revolution. It takes place tomorrow in Los Angeles, California. What's left of it that wasn't burnt out. From the Crypto.com arena, formerly known as Staples Center.
It's Staples Center.
Yes. There are 9 matches on the main card, 1 pre-show match. I don't know if you had time to look at this card, but from what I've seen, this is a pretty solid card for AEW. I mean, they could have maybe cut 2, maybe 3 matches, and I think it still could have been solid. But primarily everybody has a problem with each other. So, I mean, there is story going into the paid preview. You know, it's not, all, this would be a dream match. This is a dream match. Match, dream match. But what say you, Kaliko?
It's solid. I will give it that. It is very solid. A couple matches. I mean, there's one match that I already know it's gonna be like that bitch getting slaughtered championship match. I think I just gave it away, but yeah, other than that, yeah, it seems like they're doing a good job of building off of matches that they had in the past. Granted, some of these seems like there's going to be a lot of blow-offs.
The problem
So
here, the problem here is if it ends here and it actually is a blow-off match. You know what I mean?
true. It just seems like it's like a lot of it ends here matches,
Right. Let's talk.
which
Oh, continue.
I mean, it would make sense if that this was all in or all out. Which one is their Mania? All out?
It doesn't matter at this point.
Yeah, we don't know. It matters. Yeah.
But let's get into it. We got the pre-show match. Big Boom, AJ with the conglomeration, freshly pooped Orange Cassidy and Mark Briscoe with Big Justice versus Johnny TV and the Eminem Collection, Monsieur and Manson Maiden. Well, that's a main event in any Tokyo Dome in the world.
I mean, yeah, Mansoor. I mean, keep in mind, Mansoor was the man in India,
In Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia. There you go, Saudi Arabia, India. My bad. I'm not trying to start World War III.
Do we care who wins this match?
No, but something screams Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Alright, let's get into the main card. We have a solid steel cage match. Will Ospreay versus Kyle Flatulence. This is the rubber match. Kyle won one, Ospreay won one. God, I hope this is the last match. It makes sense that it would be the last match.
I mean, this screams Fletcher winning.
I disagree. I say that this is Ospreay winning.
Ooh. I mean, the only way you would have Ospreay. I mean, are they going by traditional steel cage match rules?
I think it's pinfall or submission.
No, you can't escape the cage?
No.
Then what the fuck is the steel cage for?
To keep Don Callis out.
What the fuck Don Callis is gonna do?
He has a screwdriver.
That is the goofiest shit. So you mean to tell me they got a steel cage match which okay. Now it makes my head hurt. A steel cage match where the winner doesn't leave the cage is included in the match. Okay. Yeah. You might be right. Will Ospreay might fucking win it then. If they had the like escaping the cage as a part of it, Fletcher's winning.
So only contingent on the fact that it might be escape the cage, it will be Kyle. But any other scenario, it's Will Ospreay. Correct?
Yes, that's a big contingent. They'll be the first person to be like, "Hey, yeah, we're having a steel cage match, but the winner doesn't have to leave the cage. It's only submission." Like, where has that ever happened at? See, this is the old man coming at me now to get off my lawn on you Gen Z wrestlers with your steel cages and nobody got to leave the cage. That's the whole point of the cage. Anyway,
We have a singles match for the Continental Breakfast Championship. We have Kazuchika Okaya versus Brody Burger King. Who wins, Kaliko?
Well, Burger King's breakfast usually stops at 10:30, and they don't serve it all day. So Okada for the win.
This is correct. M- MJF versus Porn Stars Page. Who wins?
Does it really matter?
I mean, I've been trying to figure out why is Adam Page so fucking mad? And is he a good guy or is he a bad guy? He fucked up Christopher Daniels, but now he's protecting Christopher Daniels. He doesn't like MJF. He tried to run him over with a car, but MJF tried to light him on fire. It's who's fucking with who here? Who's the good guy? Who's the bad guy? I'm so confused.
It's just two inmates fighting in an asylum. That's what it sounds like. Two people that are going nowhere. Two people that are going nowhere just beat the hell out of each other.
I feel like this screams MJF, no?
Hey, he's the one that got the new 5-year deal. Probably comes with creative control.
So he's definitely winning this.
Well, confirmed or denied.
That brings us to the AEW World Tag Team Championships. We have the Ouchie Syndicate, Bibby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin with VIP versus the Outrunners, Turbo Floyd and Truth McMahon.
Bobby Lashley and Sheldon are about to beat their ass in 3 ways to Sunday. Next. And it's Mardi Gras week. Oh yeah, black folk about to go in.
That Bitch Show Championship, Mercedes Monet versus Momo Watanabe.
Next, because TBS should be that bitch getting slaughtered championship, which means Momo about to get slaughtered. Next.
That she is. Singles match to determine the number 1 contender for the AEW World Championship match. Swivel Strickland versus Rick Lachey.
Interesting.
So
I don't know why they had. I mean, this part of me feels like this is where a swerve is going to happen and Ricochet going to fuck around and win.
I feel like that happened last time, though.
You think so?
Yeah, their last match. Ricochet won, so.
So my thing is this: if Swerve wins, that means Cope ain't winning.
I mean, there's a possibility.
No, it ain't.
Well, I mean, what's the alternative in that?
Swerve and Moxley. Because Moxley is the guy that's I don't know. Oh, well, I don't know what Moxley doing, to be quite honest. But
he's being a neo-Nazi, is what he is.
So should we call him Moxley Mux?
I always call him neo-Nazi Moxley.
Neo-Nazi Moxley. I like Moxley Mux.
Moxley
Musk.
Okay. I think that might be too political.
Oh, neo-Nazi's not political, but Musk is political. You asshole. Well, let me stop because he's my boss now. He might be hearing this podcast. Anyway, it's good.
Beware if you decide to buy a Tesla.
I mean, shit. As long as it ain't on X. I might have to change my name on X. Like, delete my X altogether. Like, but anyway, okay. It's just a matter. How do you feel about it's Swerve? Personally, I think Swerve should just win off the fact that he never got his rematch for the title.
Yeah, I agree with that. I also agree with the fact that I think that he should just win. I don't think I'm. I've been obviously really critical of Ricochet. His heel turn hasn't made me feel any more positive towards him. So, um, if Ricochet wins, then that would mean that Cope would win, right? And if Swerve wins, that would mean Moxley's winning. Or would I be wrong about that?
That's a good question because it's like, is Moxley? Ricochet Cope could be okay, I guess. It wouldn't be too bad. But yeah, it would have to be one or the other. So I think Swerve wins. I don't know what Cope would gain by winning the championship, but we both believe Swerve's winning. So there you go.
Yeah, let's go with Swerve. Alright, we have a Falls Count Anywhere match. Timeless Tony Storm versus Mariah Carey. Who wins?
This is a very dangerous spot because it felt like Tony had her moment in the sun in Australia.
This is the rubble match. Tony won in
right.
Australia, Mariah won in England. So this is the match the war to settle the score. And dare I say, it's one of the best storylines they have going on currently in AEW.
True. I just think that the problem with this is that if either one loses, where do they go from here?
Well, that's definitely a good question. If you believe in AEW logic, then they're gonna have a Texas death match in All Out or All In.
So essentially, you said this is a best of 5.
More or less, yeah.
Jesus Christ! Why the hell? Okay. Maybe, but it just I don't. I don't get it though. I still don't understand
what exactly.
I'm trying to think. Mariah needs this bad.
Does she?
If she loses, where else she gonna go?
What? They could do something with her. I don't think it's a death sentence. It's just a matter of building herself back up.
Oh, because she'll be in the island of misfit boys.
Oh, so you're saying they'll put her on Ring of Honor? That's a death sentence.
It could be, but I'm just looking at it from the sense of I think And this is a street fight or a false count anywhere.
Falls count anywhere.
So
So, if you need time to think, I could tell you who I think's gonna win.
yeah, it's a coin toss to me. It leans Storm because she just got it back, and logic would tell you she just won the belt like 3 weeks ago. Why the fuck would they? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean nobody has accused AEW of having logic, but
That's my problem.
but I mean we are in Hollywood, and she is timeless, so it would make sense if she, in that perspective as well. Um, I I say all roads lead to Tony Storm. You can't touch Tony Storm. Um, she's the best character in female pro wrestling today, and it's not even a stretch of a competition as of right now. It's her miles ahead of everybody else. So I see Tony Storm winning this match 100%. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be maybe somewhat sick, but in the end, Timeless overcomes the woman from hell.
Okay, I get it. I mean, I get that. I just don't, I just look at it like, where the hell does Mariah go from here?
Maybe a terrible rivalry with Thunder Rosa.
I mean, maybe, but it was fun for her at the top while it lasted.
You're going with Tony?
Yeah, it's gonna have to be Tony.
Alright. Then we have AEW International Championship match. Colt Kutska takes Shida versus Kenny Omega. Who wins, Kaliko?
If Will is winning your match, see, this is where it comes in. I think if Fletcher wins, Omega wins. If Ospreay wins, take Shida win.
That's a good flip. I agree with that. But the only thing about Ospreay and Fletcher is that there's no title connected to it. So, Ospreay could win and there's no repercussions. If Kenny Omega wins this match, it's why the fuck does Kenny Omega have the International Championship? You know what I mean?
Because they're not trying to get him with Moxley to get the actual championship. See what I'm saying?
I mean,
Offsetting him. Because AEW is a big proponent of that. Kind of like how Will Ospreay won the fucking entered that same championship just because they didn't want him to fuck with Swerve.
Right.
So they are notorious for that shit. Here, take this belt so we can keep you out the way of what the fuck we got going on at the top.
Here's a pacifier.
Essentially.
I mean, you're not wrong, but if there was anybody that was giving in AEW, I would say that it was Kenny Omega. So, I mean, I could see him dropping this match just to, give Colt Kutska, a, something to hold on to say, hey, I beat Kenny Omega.
Pretty much. I mean, that's what it is.
I mean, I'm not again, I can't see, excuse me, Kenny Omega saying, "Yeah, I'll hold the international championship." So I'm gonna go with take a shit.
Take a shit off.
Agree?
I feel like Project Pat should be take the shit off.
Alright, so we're agreed with take a shit, correct?
We are on the same mode with take a shit.
Then we have the AEW World Championship match. Neo-Nazi Moxley versus Cope. Who wins, Kaliko?
It feels like this challenge just came out of the blue.
Okay.
It really does. That being said, I could easily see Moxley Musk losing this title for Christian to cash in.
You know, I keep forgetting Christian has that piece of paper.
I mean, that would be the ultimate revenge to cash it in on that motherfucker, right?
I mean, it would make sense. But, you know, obviously, AEW doesn't necessarily do things that make sense, so I digress.
I mean, the question is just how do you feel with Moxley with the title? Because it kind of started out with a little bit of a bang, and now it's kind of like,
A wet fart?
you know, I mean, I wouldn't say a wet one, but it's more like he's saying the same shit every week. And I mean, no offense to Mox, but it just seems like it's like when you play your favorite song for the 100th time when you're on the freeway in a row.
And I mean, he's trying to kill motherfuckers with Clorox and paper bags. And I mean, you know, there's a difference between pro wrestling and, you know, genocide. You know, there's a fine line, but
Well, his thing is genociding the. Honestly, it's almost sound like he wants to genocide the Young Bucks, but I'm just.
yeah, the Young Bucks were smart enough to get the fuck out of there and wrestle for New Japan.
No. I'm talking not the Young Bucks in general, but what the Young Bucks represent
Greed and
when
nepotism?
it comes to wrestling. The wild west of it all. Nothing wrong with the wild west of it all, but the culture in itself in that locker room is what he's trying to genocide.
Well, I think they tried something and it did not work. With John Moxley as this character doing what he's doing now, it did not grow the audience of AEW. It only declined it. This did not make people want to turn the TV on to watch AEW. The Dead Riders only made people want to turn the TV off. Nobody cared about it. Nobody thinks that it's a good idea except John Moxley.
I mean, Marina Shafir got more time on TV than she had in NXT in 2 years.
And clearly we're seeing why.
You're fucked up.
So, I mean, they tried it. It's a failed experiment. Let the dead be buried at this point. Give Cope the title. Maybe you have Christian, you know, fucking shit up. That would be cool. But it's time to transition to something new because this definitely was not it, in my opinion.
See, that would make sense if Swerve wins the #1 title because it'd be Swerve and Christian.
Yeah. Swerve and Christian, I mean, that would work, yeah. And I mean, obviously, and then you have Cope in the wings.
I mean, Cope would be on the chase, so it'd be two people chasing
Christian.
Christian.
Yeah.
Which personally, I think that would make more sense for Christian and AEW as a whole.
I agree. So, who do you have to win in this match? Cope or Mox?
I mean, I'm gonna stick with that. Cope wins, Christian cashes in.
Okay. I'm just gonna go with the soft Cope wins, and then if something happens afterwards, I'll be pleasantly surprised.
Oh, look at you playing it safe.
I'll play it safe. I think this was the most amicable AEW preview we've ever done, if I'm being honest. Usually we get a lot more nastier with it.
Well, at least they're making us think this time. But then again, when you got a pay-per-view full of blow-off matches, it's kind of hard. And like the whole goddamn thing, I'm like, damn, is this their WrestleMania? That's why I kept thinking, like, usually I thought All Out was their shit, but okay, we're all in.
I feel like they're trying to get that hype back. They're trying to get, some type of favorable look at them. Because the last maybe year or so, even more than a year, it hasn't been good for them. It's just been one thing after another of negativity. Nobody likes their booking. Nobody likes what they're doing. It's not getting people talking. And, it's just a matter of how much money do you have to lose before you start changing things. You know what I mean?
Maybe Tony doesn't care about how much money he has to lose. As long as they got NFL money, it ain't going nowhere.
That it is not. But, we shall see if this is a new era or the same old shit. Alright, that will conclude our coverage of AEW, Revolution, in this episode as a whole. Thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, both on YouTube and Castbox. This was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us this Tuesday as we interview Patricia Lagaya. This Wednesday as we interview Super Beast, and every Tuesday and Wednesday for new incredible interviews. And follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on X, Thread, and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesJ993. Where can we find Kaliko?
I mean, I would say find me at I am Kaliko on X. However, I gotta let Lord Elon know I got my 5 points, and I gotta email them to him by Monday. So don't be bugging me with them weekend emails, man.
All right. Kaliko cashing in on that Tesla money.
I mean, Tesla money, shit. I don't work for Tesla, shit.
I mean, you might be working for Tesla in the near future.
I mean, don't even get me started with that. I mean, no, Tesla about to lay motherfuckers off. You seen these motherfuckers burning Tesla stations? Okay, let's not get there. But anyways, oh yeah, Hulk Hogan. I mean, the Ultimate Warrior. I mean, Congrats, Michelle McCool. I mean, Natural Disasters Hall of Fame. Hey, yeah, right.
For Calico Yachts and Scooter Dust, this is James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
Swerve when I drive. Why me swerve when I drive? I just want to hear that Sunday.
Hey, folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show. Support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.